So this is part 11 of this multi-part video series for positional stock traders. If you have already watched the first 10 parts, that's very good. That means you are truly interested in positional trading on weekly charts. You could choose to specialize in this type of trading or investing or whatever you want to call it. Okay, in this video, I want to discuss with you the process or the flow that you have to implement when you are creating your own system. Okay, or you can just take this system as it is. So as you know, the first step is filtering. You know, this orange trading system we use already on the daily chart, swing trading and positional trading. The same applies to the weekly charts with minor differences here and there. But we start with filters. So remember, we had created filters. So I will go to breakouts. So here I will click on WON William O'Neill. So we created these three filters. These are comparatives. Then technicals, we have these six filters. Earlier, we did not have the 52-week low. Then we added the Mark Minervini criteria. Okay, I'm doing it gradually. Now I'm adding another. So you can go here, make it more than 200,000 shares. Why am I doing that? Because I have noticed from my personal experience that if the average daily volume of the stock is less than 200,000 shares, it is likely to be more volatile. Okay, no matter how great the company is fundamentally. I have noticed that the success rate is more when the liquidity is high. Okay, you need big people, the big institutions to buy the stock. And when big institutions buy the stock, the volume cannot be very low. So 200,000 uh, is the nice threshold level. I learned this from Patrick Walker, who is a student of William O'Neill, by the way. And then remaining things don't change, the fundamentals and everything. I save this and I apply the filter. So you have 48 stocks, correct? Now, just because there are 48 stocks doesn't mean that you have to buy all of them. So when you do the filtering, you get 48 stocks. This is the 48 stocks. Now, from here to here, okay, there is a process called as shortlisting, which we discussed when I was talking about technical analysis. So there are six criteria of William O'Neill, which we discussed in technicals. Remember that pivot, buy range, stop loss range, selling range. The six criteria of William O'Neill and the four criteria of Mark Minervini trend template. When we apply that 10 criteria, which is technical by the way, when we apply that 10 criteria on these 48 stocks, we might be left with, say, 5 stocks or maybe 10 stocks, okay, which meet that 10 criteria. Let's say we get 5 out of 45 stocks. Okay, that's 10% of the filtered list. So that process is called as shortlisting. So first you do filtering. You go from 5,300 stocks to 48 stocks. That is filtering. Then from 48 stocks, you go to 5 stocks. That is called shortlisting. Shortlisting is done based on basic technical criteria, the 10 criteria that we discussed. 6 by William O'Neill, 4 by Mark Minervini. Okay. Those 5 stocks, you run through these filters. Okay. So first you check liquidity, then you check comparative analysis. I will make videos on liquidity, comparative, etc. First you check liquidity of the stock, then you check the comparatives. Then in technical, since we have already shortlisted the stocks based on technicals, now you have to check the base count. Is it early stage? Is it middle stage? Is it late stage? Then you also have to check the relative strength line. Is it near the 52-week high? Is there a blue dot near that, on that blue zone, on that blue line, blue dot on the blue line? Okay, that's technical. Then, of course, you know the 12 fundamental criteria. Then you check the market conditions. There are 4 market conditions: confirmed uptrend under pressure, rally attempt, and confirmed downtrend. Except for confirmed downtrend, we are allowed to take a positional trade on the remaining 3, but only thing that will differ is the position size. So weaker the market, lesser will be the position size. Stronger the market, more will be the position size. Then you decide to buy the stock with an appropriate position size, which you already plan the night before. The next day when the stock breaks out, or the next week when the stock breaks out, you execute the trade in the buying range. You put the stop loss, that is part of risk management, and then you manage the trade as it nears the selling zone. Okay, you manage the trade. Maybe you do partial selling, maybe you do complete selling, whatever it is that you want to do. You manage that trade. Okay, that's the whole process, and you have to do this daily. Even if you are trading the weekly time frame charts, you have to run through this process daily, because today there are 48 stocks. Tomorrow there might be 55 stocks. So you want to check those remaining 7 stocks. Where did they come from? Maybe they were trading below the 50-day simple moving average. That is why they are not showing up in the filter. Now they have come up in the filter. So you have to run through this. Okay. So daily 15 minutes to half an hour you have to invest. Okay. To run through this system no matter how busy you are. I understand you want to do positional trading. I understand you want to do weekly time frame charts, but there is no excuse to daily scanning, because William O'Neill himself used to scan the market on a daily basis. Okay, in the next videos, we will focus our attention on liquidity analysis, then comparative analysis. Technical we have already covered, fundamental we have already covered. I will also spend some time on market analysis. Okay, we will take it forward from there. But this is a nice video series that is developing. I never planned to make so many parts. When I was making part one, I thought this will be over in like 2, 3 parts or something like that. But I want to give you the full scale, detailed guidance on how I would look at stocks in the Indian market based on what I have understood from William O'Neill's material, or how William O'Neill would have approached the market. Okay. So apart from these technical fundamental criteria, we will also try to find out some basics about the company. So for example, we might create a checklist like 10 questions to ask to Chat GPT, because I tried it a few days ago. Chat GPT has a tremendous amount of information, and it gives it in a very small time period. So there is really no equity research required to be done now. Chat GPT has solved that problem already. So I could ask questions like, is this company doing well fundamentally, operationally? Is this company growing in its own industry? Is it capturing market share? What is the competitive advantage of the company? Does the company have a moat? What is the unique selling proposition of the company? Has the company launched new products or services? Have they any products that they have patented? When you ask these kind of basic questions and you make a questions template, just change the name of the company that you're researching and just copy paste that on Chat GPT. You will get all the information that you need. At least you understand what the company's business is, what they are doing, and things like that. Now those things are not mandatory. These things are mandatory. Okay, you have to go through these things almost. This is the essence of what the company is already doing, but it pays to understand little bit more of what you are putting your money into, because in positional trading you might go in with a 10% or 15% position size with a 5 to 8% stop loss. So if you 10 to 15% of your portfolio is going in one stock, you better know something about the company, what they do, and things like that. Of course it will reflect in the numbers, but you need to know why it is reflecting in that numbers. What is it that the company is doing well? So we'll look at that. I will try to create a training video on that as well, as how to use Chat GPT to full advantage just by preparing the questions template. These are general questions to be asked, just changing the name of the company. Tremendous amount of information can be extracted from Chat GPT. Okay, I will see you in the next part. So I think this was part 11 or something.